All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to, oh boy, that was loud. Welcome to today's live stream, the Friday live stream. Today we are talking about choice. Do we have too much of it? Is essentially what it comes down to. Do we have too much choice now in the age of streaming? This is something that comes up all the time. And honestly, if the purpose of today's stream were to solve this problem and come up with the answer, we're going to fail. But the better question is, what's the right answer for you, right? And what do we think streaming could or should look like in the future if we're not satisfied with the way it looks now? So that's what we're going to be talking about. But before we get to all of that stuff, let me just welcome you again to the live stream. I am Craig with Reviews.org. So please go to Reviews.org, bookmark the website. Go there anytime you have questions about products or services for your home. You know, we cover a lot of stuff beyond just streaming. So if you follow the channel on YouTube, then you know we cover home security, we cover mobile tech, we cover internet issues, also all sorts of stuff. Smart home as well is in there. So any question you have on that can often be answered just by going to reviews.org or by going to our YouTube page and searching for the answer there. We've gone over a lot of things over the years, I'd say. Anyway, so let's see. Along with that, what else do I want to tell you? I'm trying to think if there's any other housekeeping that I want to mention. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you're watching this live, then I assume you are subscribed because you got the notification that said come check it out. And I am glad that you're here. So, like I said, today we're talking about choice. And whether we have too much of it. So that is the question of the day. As Reliance says, everyone has an opinion. Reliance also says, get a haircut. I'm not sure you are kidding. Okay, that's hurtful. Let's see. Cardboard Guy came in a few minutes early, says that you think we have too many selections to choose from. Most streaming, okay, this is interesting. Most streaming services have the same content and movies, while others are completely different. Oh, okay. Interesting take. I think we'll come back to this one. George, hello, I guess. Whatever. You know, I didn't get a haircut, Reliance, but I'm using headphones now, and that kind of keeps the hair out of my face, right? So that's close enough. Okay. So, giveaway time. As you can see up in the corner right there. Ooh, I feel like I can tickle it a little bit. You can go to reviews.org/giveaways. That link is in the description, or you can just type it into your browser. Go to reviews.org/giveaways. And let's see, last week we gave away, I'm pretty sure we gave away the two Walmart streaming devices that I got to do my review with. So let's announce the winners from last week, and then we'll talk about what's being given away this week, or whatever. The giveaway for this week that will be announced, the winners will be announced next week. It's all very confusing. But today, the winners for those devices, the Walmart, the ONN period streaming devices are Don Dotson and Zachary McGuire. Don Dotson and Zachary McGuire. I hope you guys are listening, watching, whatever you do on YouTube. We watch on YouTube, right? So Don, and I'm going Zach. It says Zachary, but I really want it to be Zach. I don't know why. It makes me feel young. So Don and Zachary, expect an email soon from the reviews.org team. We'll get in touch with you about that item, and it'll be on its way soon. So, all right. Now that that's done, let me. I'm going to get rid of the giveaways banner for a bit, so that we can get to our topic for today a little easier. Okay. George, I'm sorry, I misread this. I put this up because I thought George says, I think that streaming services shouldn't exist. I thought you were just trolling. That would have been fun. Okay. So let's see. Hello, Freyden. When was the last time Craig was wrong? That's an excellent question from Adam P. When was the last time that Craig was wrong? Never. So there's the last bit of housekeeping. Go on YouTube, go just below the video. There should be a merch store. You can get the Craig is Always Right mug. If you get the Craig is always right mug and you tweet a picture of that at me, preferably with a picture of you drinking your favorite beverage out of the Craig is always right mug, that's a guaranteed retweet from me. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say from the Reviews.org social team as well. Guaranteed retweet. So yeah, go pay $15 for your retweet. All right. Where was I? Okay, choice. Is there too much choice? Wait, let me bring up why this came to mind for me. This topic, well, like I said, this gets brought up all the time. People in the comments, in YouTube comments, elsewhere, I get emails sometimes from people who are like, screw this, streaming is too complicated, it's too expensive, it's too this, it's too that. I miss my cable package, which I will say, while I understand, and I have even advocated for cable packages are right for some people, it's a mindset that I can't quite wrap my head around. Like, going back doesn't seem quite right to me. So yeah, people say that all the time, and it was kind of, as I was doing my review on the budget streaming devices, I was like, man, we have a lot of choices for platforms as well as the streaming services themselves. It's getting to be a lot, right? Isn't it? So I thought I would put it to you guys. The devices, the services, between all of those, we have hundreds or thousands of options or millions of options really for ways that we can build out our own cord cutting experience. So I wanted to put it to you guys and find out what your thoughts were on the subject. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start with some straw polls. For those of you who have watched these live streams for a while, you're familiar with the straw polls. And this is the first one that I'm going to do. And you know what? And before we do that, let's pause that for just a moment, because Dennis P, thank you so much, Dennis P, for the tip here. Dennis says there is too much choice. Some streaming services have no content on them. Going back is not right, but consolidation is in order to a certain degree. Okay, all right. Whew, interesting. So the second thing you said here, some streaming services have no content on them. So as many of you know, sorry, I'm taking a hard right turn. We're going to come back to the poll in just a moment. But as many of you know, I am a big, massive proponent. I'm stumbling over my words today. I'm a big proponent of Apple TV Plus. I love Apple TV Plus. I think that they just have killer content. It's not that every single show is right up my alley, but the stuff that is done really well. I really enjoy it. And so I've been telling people for months, and for like a year and a half now, sign up for Apple TV Plus. It's really good. But the problem is, when it came out, I think they had a total of like 30 some odd titles. So that's between series and movies. They had about 30 something titles. And this drove people absolutely crazy, which I understand. I mean, you're talking, you set that next to Netflix, and they're like, hey, we have 4,000 titles for you to watch right now, no matter what region you're in. Some regions it's 5,000 or 6,000 titles, and who knows how many, hundreds of thousands or millions of hours of content to watch, right? It's incredible how much content. I can't even remember what the actual numbers are off the top of my head. But yeah, you put it next to Netflix, and you're like, what's the point of Apple TV Plus? It has 30 titles. But the thing is, you think of each of Netflix's best titles, the things that people, especially Netflix originals, the things that people get really excited about, the Stranger Things, the House of Cards, the whatever your jam is. And what if you just took away everything else and just had those gems on Netflix? Like, those are pretty gem worthy, right? Well, that's how I feel about Apple TV Plus. So when I hear Dennis P say there's too much choice, some streaming services have no content on them. That's what I'm hearing, is like Apple TV Plus, because I don't think you can level that charge against Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, Disney Plus, HBO Max, They all have tons of content. So that I suspect that that's a shot at Apple TV Plus. Anyway, so that's my argument for Apple TV Plus is, yeah, it's small, but it's mighty. Call me crazy. So let's see. I want to see, Dennis, if you had any follow-ups. Oh, yeah, that's you from Best Phone Plans. All right, Dennis. Yeah. I love Craig. Well, don't we all? I mean, very lovable. Okay. Very, very lovable. So, Dennis, yeah, it's good to have you on here. And everybody go check out Best Phone Plans, please. Absolutely. So, I feel like I was going to, oh yeah. Okay. Going back is not right, but consolidation is in order to a certain degree. I want to come back to this, the idea of consolidating. Yeah. I want to come back to that. I think that'll be for later in the stream, but that's a good one to bring up, Dennis. Okay. So let's pull this back up. Let me get my, my link here to give you. So you pop in here, click on the link, and pop over and let me know what is most valuable to you among these three choices. In fact, you know what? Let's just blow it all the way up. Choice, cost, or convenience. Which is most valuable? These can all be valuable. That's fine. But what is most convenient to you? Choice, cost, or convenience? Go ahead and let me know. Click on that link. Go give me the results. All right. So we've got a couple of votes for cost. I know there are going to be some other ones. All right. So we've got a few votes for choice as well now. Cost or choice. I really want a way for this to keep like auto generating, so I don't have to refresh the page every time. But yeah, so far, okay, interesting. Convenience has no votes so far. I am going to need more of you to pop in there. There's a bunch of you. So pop in, and here I'll send out that link one more time. Pop in. Let me know what you think about this particular issue. Okay, we did get some votes for convenience. Ooh, neck and neck. Choice versus cost. 10 votes each. All right. So while we are waiting for folks to get their votes in, I'll refresh that a couple more times. But somebody asked an interesting question. Zarek Reyes, I want you to hold this and submit this again when we're done with these straw polls. I think this is a very interesting question. I love making predictions, especially predictions like this that will be years down the road, and so nobody will remember if I'm wrong, and I can keep my mug. So, but I like that. Okay, I think. Oh my gosh, it's still okay. 12-12, choice or cost. All right. So, and you know what? I think I'm actually kind of with you guys on this one. Choice and cost would be my number 1 and 2, and then convenience would be number 3. And basically, this kind of tracks with how cord cutting goes overall, doesn't it? So cord cutting as a concept, it kind of takes away the convenience, because a cable package or a satellite package, especially a cable package, because you can more easily bundle internet with it. But it's very convenient, right? It's really convenient to have every channel, a bunch of on-demand stuff, everything in one place, great DVR, whatever. That's very convenient, but it's very pricey. And you don't really have many choices, especially if you go with a satellite plan and you're locked into a 2-year agreement. Takes away a lot of the choices. So yeah, I think this kind of tracks with what we 13-13 now. It's just an absolute tie. It's fantastic. Anyway, yeah, this really tracks with the cord cutting experience, I think. So yeah, that's interesting that you guys would say that. So yeah, let's see what you're saying in here. Let's see. Pepe says convenience. Let's see. Lance says choice. Okay. All right. So we're cheating. Hey, that's my job. I'm supposed to be the one who has the cheating answers. For me, it's value, choice at the best price. So, and that's tricky. That's why I didn't use the word value, because value is a subjective thing, where like value means different things to different people. Some people value choice or value cost more, et cetera, so forth. So let's see. Anybody else? Let's see. Richie, who I didn't say hello to earlier. Hello, Richie. More options for on-demand streaming content, as well as let's see. As well as sure, selected content available as per user choice. Oh man, selective content availability. Do you guys remember last week? I had Jared Newman on, and he was that last week or was that 2 weeks ago? Whatever. Time is a flat circle. But he had a great Tech Hive column today about choice or availability, show availability. You should go check it out. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked here. So choice versus cost versus convenience. This is good to know where you guys are at. I think we're all kind of on the same page with that one. Now, I've got another one for you. And this is going to be kind of weirdly unrelated to what we were just talking about, but it's equally interesting when it comes to the idea of choice. Do we like having choices? So this is going to be kind of a straight question, but with a lot of discussion to go with it. And basically, this is how committed a cord cutter are you? Do you love streaming services, or do you value something else more highly? So now I'm going to put another straw poll up. And this one is, would you rather rent a movie on Disney Plus? Let's take Black Widow as a for instance. Rent a movie on Disney Plus, or see it in the theater. So each of these, assuming 2 people go to the theater, it would be roughly the same cost, depending on where you live, ticket prices. Is it a weekday? Is it a weekend? Is it, XD, or is it standard, or whatever, obviously. But let's say they're roughly the same cost, either way. Which one would you go for? Are you a sit on my couch kind of person, or are you a go to the theater person? Let me know. All right. So far, see it in theater is winning, with a few extra votes over renting. Yeah, now it's pulling ahead a little bit. So, okay, interesting. A lot of theater people on here, and I'm one of them. But for me, the calculation is a little bit different, and I'm curious if it's the same for you guys as well. Because when I go to the theater, I tend to go alone. I love going to the theater. My wife, she goes with me sometimes, but it's not as enjoyable for her as it is for me. And so I go to the movies alone a lot. And so, ticket for me right now in my area, about $12 or so, depending on the day. But call it $12. And so when I saw Black Widow, I was just like, yeah, I'll just go to the theater. Then I can get some popcorn, get my own ticket, and it's less than I would have paid on Disney Plus. And besides, I watch all my movies out here in the studio. And so after a while, you can imagine I get tired of these same 4 walls. So I got to get out. But there are not just a few of you who would rather rent the movie on Disney Plus. So tell me why. Hit the chat over there. I hate how this is backwards. I wish it wasn't. So yeah, the chat on that side. Whatever. Hit the chat. Let me know what you would, or why you would choose to do what you would. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Well, you know what? While you guys are doing that, you do that, and I'm gonna go turn off the child monitor in here because I'm getting noise. All right. So 12 to 9. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of settling in, just a few votes over. I kind of expected something like that it wouldn't be purely one way or the other. Okay, but let's see what you guys are thinking. Let's see. Larry says theater because of our boy, the whole theater experience. So you want your kid to experience going to the movies. A little bit neither. Okay, all right. Well, hey, you do you. Let's see. So streaming is somewhere for free. Yeah, this is another interesting issue. I'd rather wait till I can stream it somewhere for free, which of course would take a long time unless you had an illegal stream, which I don't do, and I certainly don't recommend. But yeah, if you're waiting for it to hit a streaming service where you can watch it for free, it's usually going to be months later. And so for somebody who wants to keep up with pop culture, that's not a great option. But if you don't really care, hey, then yeah, wait for it to hit Netflix or whatever. HBO Max is starting to. Didn't I see something? It might be Disney Plus that I'm thinking of, where the movies that were available only for a short amount of time on the streaming app are back on the streaming app. I think it might be Disney Plus. Anyway, so yeah, eventually they'll make it somewhere, but you could be waiting a long time. Let's see. Let's see if we have any more votes coming in. Oh boy, it's actually getting really close. So you know what? I'm gonna share that that link one more time. So anybody else who wants to can pop in and vote. Make your voice known. Vote. And let me know what you think. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I couldn't vote on this one, says Sylvia. I'm 50-50. I understand that. You should vote anyway. I'm not a regular theater goer, but would never pay $30 to watch anything. Anything? When my gut reaction is actually to kind of agree with you. Because when Disney Plus did that, they said, yeah, the premium movies would be $30. I was like, nah, to be honest, they haven't really released anything that I thought would be worth it. I'm not going to pay $30 for Mulan or Cruella. Definitely not Cruella. I love Emma Stone, but that's not happening. Black Widow, I was like, yeah, I better keep up with the Marvel stuff, but I'll just go down to the theater to see that. So, but if they had released Avengers Endgame, for instance, for $30, and that was the only way to watch it, or the only reasonable way to watch it, then oh yeah, I would have forked out $30 for that. So Zachariah says theater unless it's an HBO Max movie, unless it's Dune. I'm really excited. I hope everybody else is excited for Dune as well. If you couldn't tell from the books behind me, I'm a big sci-fi fantasy nerd. So yeah, I'm very excited for the Dune movie. Apparently you are as well. All right. So Frayden coming in with the theater's still fun when you can, but between COVID and prices going up, I assume you mean like the streaming experience is becoming a better and safer experience. Fair enough. Okay. The rentals have pulled ahead 14 votes to 12. People saying they'd rather rent it. They're with you, Frayden. And the COVID thing, I don't want to wade very far into that controversy. I'll just say it kind of depends on where you are, right? And what your state and what your county's numbers are, vaccination rates, and what your situation is, and yeah, everybody's going to have their own risk assessment when it comes to this sort of thing. But it's definitely something to think about when you're going back to the theaters, obviously. Okay. I'm sure I missed a few. I apologize, but I'm going to have to keep going. Except for this one. I'm in my mid-40s. I could care less about pop culture. Well, I'm in my mid-30s. I'm still kind of hanging on. I've got some fingernails clinging on to pop culture. All right. So somebody asked Spotify versus Apple Music. We could. Yeah, maybe if we got some time later, maybe we'll do that one. Remind me later. But I do have some others to go through. So let me pull up. I think I have just one. No, I have two more. Two more that we can go through. Oh, I don't know why I keep blinking out. Am I blinking? Is the screen going black for you guys? Something's going on with my connection, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. But it seems like the stream is still going. So as long as the stream's still going, I'm still going. All right. I've got another one for you. All right. Here comes the comment. And here's what it is. Which streaming platform would you get rid of first? So which is your least favorite one? Okay. That doesn't mean that you have to say, oh, this is a terrible streaming platform or whatever. It just means which one would you get rid of first? Fire TV, Roku, Google TV. These ones I thought about separating, and I ultimately kept them together. And I know that Fire TV is technically built on the Android TV platform, but it's separate enough. And then Apple TV, of course, we've got to throw that one in there. So, which one would you get rid of first? Apple TV. Oh, Fire TV has quite a few more votes than Roku or Android. All right. So keep them coming. This is very interesting. Okay, Fire TV has overtaken Apple TV. You guys, this is very interesting. Okay, good. You guys are saying I'm not blinking out. That's good. Okay. George says, I hate meme culture, but pop culture is okay. Hey, that's fair enough. I like that. That's good formulation. Fire TV. Wow. I'm so interested by this. Taking an interestingly commanding lead. Okay, not commanding. It's 9 votes to 7. Let's calm down, Craig. But yeah, it is taking a lead. Roku would be the one you get rid of first. Okay. Let's see. I would not get rid of first, I should say. Sorry. Let's give this a few more refreshes. We've got 25 votes in. That's about a third of you, or a little less than a third of you. So whoever said Roku, oh wait, there it is. Whoever said Roku needs to get one because they are great. So I gotta say, oh, you know what? I'll save this until we do the next one. Okay. So you guys said Fire TV first. You would get rid of Fire TV first. 9 to 8 to 6 to 2. Okay, interesting. All right. So George, we're gonna hide that for a second. I'm gonna come back to that. But the next one, the pair for this question, obviously, is here we go. The pair is which streaming platform would you get rid of last? Okay. Oh, now you might think that the answers would just be completely flipped. Well, not necessarily, and that's why we're asking both of these questions, because ranked choice voting and all that could put something in front. So it could be Roku here, could be something else. But which streaming platform would you get rid of last? Basically, desert island. You're stuck on a desert island. Which one would you want on your TV? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Let's check out the results so far. Okay. Yep. And it is flipped. At least the ranking is flipped. The vote total. Let's see. Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, Fire TV. Okay. So yeah, Fire TV is getting fewer votes on this than Roku did on the last one. All right. That's why it's a little bit interesting. So if I go back to this one, let's see. Whoever said Roku needs to get one because they are great. As you guys know, I've been a Roku guy for a long, long time. But as I was doing this week's video, it was kind of a cord cutting 101, a roundup of budget streaming devices. So I was looking at the ON devices. I was looking at the Rokus and the Google TVs and all that. It kind of just cemented further my feeling that it really depends on whether you're well, hang on. Let me back that up before I state what I was about to. Oh, okay, Roku pulling even further ahead. So most of you, it seems, would like to keep Roku the longest. Anyway, the opinion that I was kind of coming to, or that I have been coming to for a long time, is that it depends on whether you're a beginner cord cutter or an intermediate or advanced cord cutter. How technologically savvy are you? How savvy are you with these devices? Oops. Because I think Roku absolutely 100% cannot be beat as a beginner's device. You hand this to your grandparents and you're like, Grandma, stop paying $200 for cable. Here's, your Netflix and Disney Plus and Prime Video subscriptions and throw them on the Roku, and it's super easy for somebody to figure out how to use all of those. Whereas once you get a little bit more advanced, and you know, I don't want to flip between all these things. I just want everything pulled into one location as far as, you know, my continue watching lists and all that stuff. Then the Google TV platform gets real attractive real quick. And then similarly, you know, it kind of depends on if you are in an ecosystem. So if you're an Apple person or an Amazon person, then that can change your calculus pretty quick. Okay, interesting. So which streaming platform would you get rid of last? All right, so it sounds like people don't like Fire TV much, which I'm really interested by. You know, obviously some of you do, but I'm very interested. So let me know in the chat, why is it that you don't like Fire TV as much as the others? So I kind of think of it in a similar vein to say the Apple TV. Where, you know, it's kind of ecosystem based, but a ton of us are wrapped up in one or the other, right? So, oh no, Zarek says, hey, watching me on a 4K TV now, that's this face not meant for 4K. Certainly not on, you know, 55, 65 inches. You know, maybe on your phone, that's okay, or you know, on a small laptop screen. Let's see. Grandma here's Roku, gets a Roku for Christmas. Okay. Yeah. So Sylvia, what did you vote for? I'm curious. Anyway, let's see. Fire TV is too locked down, says Blackworm. Not easy to sideload APKs. Interesting. So where do you download your APKs? I assume you're an Android TV person if you're doing a lot of APKs. For those of you who don't know, an APK is it's a program that you can download from the internet and put onto your streaming device via a third-party app. It's called sideloading. It's basically you're getting apps on your device that you can't get through their official platform. So that's what he's talking about. But Fire TV has always been the one that I recommend for folks who like to sideload. But I assume you are an Android TV person in that case. Let's see. Dennis comes in with another one. Fire TV I dislike because of all the ads and slow UI, as well as the lack of app support at times. Voice remote is also not great on Fire Stick. So fair complaints, honestly, fair complaints. The slow UI, I haven't had much of an issue with. I'm curious what device you're using. It's with most of these devices, my Chromecast, my Fire Stick, even my Roku to a certain extent, most of them take a little while to get going. Like, you know, you fire up a laptop and it's going to take a moment for it to get all of its loading stuff done so that it will act properly. And it's kind of the same thing here where you turn on the Chromecast and it's going to take a few minutes for it to really get going. But once it does, it's very smooth. That's been my experience with the Fire Stick as well. But maybe you've had a different experience. The UI, on the other hand, I'm with you there. All the ads are killer. Even with the new Fire TV interface, it's better, but it's not awesome. There's just a ton of ads. The way that Google TV has integrated ads, I think, is a little more organic. A little easier to understand what it is you're seeing. So yeah, I can understand that. So yep, looks like we're still sitting the same here. What else did you say? Voice remote is also not great on Fire Stick. So yeah, I mean, I will say Google has done a better job just with their voice command. But I will say, let's see. We're gonna pull up. Ooh, okay. Yeah. All right. This just like I suspected. Blackworm uses an Nvidia Shield, which is an Android TV. So yeah, that makes sense. So oh shoot, what was I just gonna say? Oh, you guys, you chased it right out of my head. It's gone. Oh no, I do remember, because with Fire TV, because it is integrated with, I don't want to say her name. Echo devices. I've experienced this, but I don't have it set up in my studio right now, but I have done it before and I've seen others do it before, where you can take your Echo devices and link them to your Fire TV or Fire TV stick and basically use them as kind of, satellite speakers. So you can get a surround sound system going just with a bunch of Echo devices, which is pretty sweet. And it works, it works all right. It's not the most amazing speaker system in the world, but it's still pretty cool to do. You get a couple Echo Dots behind you, and then a couple, third or fourth gen Echo devices up front by the TV. You can even get a subwoofer. I've got the Echo Studio behind me. That would work really well if you get a couple of those. Those are a little pricier. But anyway, I've always thought that was cool, the way you could integrate that, the Fire TV with the rest of your ecosystem, because we have an Echo heavy ecosystem in our house. So I've always liked it for that. Okay. I wanted to get to one that I missed. George, I don't know what this means. That's let's see, Google TV or whatever it is called is a gateway to illegal content. Well, Google TV isn't. But I'm interested to hear why you say that. Okay, Sylvia, let's see. Somebody said something that I wanted to respond to, and I'm just looking through seeing if I could find it. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Chris asks, what about Nvidia Shield? Is it even worth it? I thought about getting one. So, yes and no. The Nvidia Shield is probably, pound for pound, the best streaming device on the market, especially if you get the $200 one instead of the $150 one. It is awesome. Just as far as the speed, the fluidity, the ease of use, as long as you understand the Android TV platform, it does make it very easy. The way you can do gaming on it is fantastic, et cetera, et cetera. Absolutely wonderful. If you're going to use all those bells and whistles, if you're going to do gaming on your device, if you're streaming through Stadia, something like that, or what have you, or if you're going to use the Nvidia graphics card, I think it's the GeForce graphics cards that can do screen mirroring, that's a hard word, between your computer and your TV. So if for some reason you need to do that, I've got StarCraft going. If I wanted to get my own StarCraft, on the TV and let other people watch me play, then the Nvidia Shield lets you do things like that. It also has, it lets you hardwire with Ethernet. It lets you do, Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. And, some cheaper devices do that as well. But my point just being that it has a ton of bells and whistles. And if you're going to use them, it's awesome. And it's probably worth the price. If you're not, if you're just looking for something to play Netflix, if you're just looking for, a way to, rent Black Widow or whatever, then no, it is not worth it to go with a different device. I would say go with the Chromecast or go with a Roku or something. Or if you want an Android TV device, get the TiVo Stream 4K. That's a good one. Anyway, so I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Let's see. So Dennis is back, says Google TV is my preferred due to superior integration of content on the main page and the fact that I'm deeper in the ecosystem. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. If you're a Google household, then that's going to make a lot of sense. Okay. Okay. So George says, does anyone realize that Google TV pushes YouTube purchasing content? Well, of course it does. They're not quite as heavy-handed with it as Apple is. Apple is the worst with this. Apple TV would be the first one I would get rid of, partly because I'm not an Apple person, so I'm not in the ecosystem. But yeah, they all push their own content except for Roku. And even that, they push their Roku channel. But yeah, they all do it. It's just that Google TV kind of gets out of the way a little more than the others. So I appreciate that about them. Oh, and somebody from Facebook. I apologize if I've missed any Facebook people, but Debbie says my Fire Stick always fails. Drives me nuts. Interesting. Okay. So one thing I'm curious about, Debbie, maybe you can let me know. how old's your Fire Stick? How old's your Fire Stick? Is it a Fire Stick 4K? Is it a regular Fire Stick? Is it a Fire Stick Lite? Have you had it for 3 years? These things can be considerations, which actually brings up something else when it comes to streaming issues, and whether we like having all of these choices is you can have a Roku device, but then, in 3 years, 4 years, they stop supporting the software support goes down for that particular device, and it's a little bit rough because then you got to go buy a new one, and they're probably more expensive than they used to be. All right, so let's see. I know Chris is maybe coming in with one more question. Okay, I'll do one more here. I love Nvidia Shield because it's a great all-in-one box for both streaming and gaming. Yeah, there you go. If you're a gamer, Nvidia Shield is great. If you're not, it's probably not worth your money. And I say that with love. I love the Nvidia Shield. So I'm trying to make as objective a metric as possible here. Okay, so okay, here let me do this one. Is the Roku application on a TV the same or better than a standalone device? It's the same. The only difference on a Roku is that you get a few extra tiles for inputs. So on the TV, obviously you've got HDMI ports, and you've even got the RBG port. What's not RBG? What am I thinking of? The AV inputs. So you've got all these inputs on the back of the TV. My brain just shuts down every once in a while. So you can switch between those. That's really the only difference. As far as the guts of the thing, what kind of hardware you're getting inside, it's basically the same as getting a streaming stick plus when you get, or a streaming stick 4K plus, whatever. I don't know. The Roku, the guts of the Roku TVs are generally in that kind of upper tier of Roku hardware. So it's not quite like having a Roku Ultra, but it's somewhere close to that. All right, so RCA. Thank you. My gosh, why couldn't I think of RCA? You guys are killing me. And of course, the Frugal Audiophiles one is like RCA. Come on, you idiot. I'm sitting here staring at RCA inputs on my my audio interface here, and I couldn't think of the word. Okay, so let's get back to our subject at hand for just a few more moments, and then we can do a few more minutes of Q&A and call it a day. So essentially, the question that we're asking here is, do we have too many choices? And this can wrap up our Q&A. Do we have too many choices? Our first poll, and you know what? I'm gonna share this one more time. Our first poll is, what was most valuable to you? Choice, cost, or convenience? Did we have any? Okay. Choice, cost, or convenience. I'm gonna throw this up one more time because I know we've got some new people in here, and I want you to let me know what you think. What is most valuable to you? This is the result of the poll from earlier. But now that we've got a few more people in, let's see if we can get some more votes in there. What is most valuable to you? And let me tell you where I come from on this. I value convenience, but like the people in this poll, I don't value it to the same level that I do the other two. For me, I would actually rank choice above cost by a little bit. Cost is still important to me, but I think choice is most valuable. I would rather not have to subscribe to this or that streaming service or channel or whatever. But maybe that's just me. All right, let's refresh this, see if we've got any more. Got a few more. And so most of you now are saying cost is, or I guess a plurality of you, if we're getting technical, are saying that cost is most important. So you'd rather save a few bucks. And this pretty much tracks. So let me know what you guys, what your justifications are for this, why you value cost over everything else. I guess that's easy. You could say, well, I want to save money, but some people would say, hey, time is money. I don't want to spend a bunch of time figuring out, which streaming services should I be signed up for this month? Do I need to cancel my Netflix because I'm not watching it? And so some people would say, hey, cost is great, but I'd rather not have to worry about it. I'll just pay the flat fee, have everything I want. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm reading through some devices. Thank you, Dennis, for reminding me. I will get to that question. All right. Fewer choices means it's easier for companies to jack up their prices. That's true. That's economics 101. And so that's a good reason for us kind of collectively to value choice, because if we encourage more choice, it pushes the cost down. But on an individual level, that doesn't always make sense. We don't tend to make decisions based on what's going to be best, like for everybody. Hey, never mind. I was going to make a joke, but I'll leave that one alone. Not everybody makes choices that way. So yeah, on an individual level, it still makes sense that some people would prefer cost over choice. But yeah, they're pretty close. All right. So, all right, let's, I'm going to work my way through some of these. Competition is good. I like choices. There you go. So Dennis has reminded me, don't forget to talk about the consolidating aspect of things from the original question. Yes, thank you, Dennis. So the original question, in fact, let me see if I can scroll up and get the original question. It's around here somewhere, isn't it? It might have disappeared. Yeah, I think it disappeared. Okay. So the idea of consolidating things. So as we have more and more choices, you have Netflix, you've got Hulu, you've got all the other paid services, HBO Max and Disney Plus and all those things. And then you've also got the free services to navigate. Oh, do I want to get Pluto TV and Tubi and everything else? Why, all their names are fleeing my mind now, but Stir TV and Pluto TV and all these free services, they're all stacking up. So would it make sense to consolidate things? Well, it's a great question. And what I was going to get to with this is actually kind of a similar thing, or the opposite of the point we were just making. Okay. Where did it go? Oh, it's gone. I can't find it. The question I just had up. Oh yeah, there it is, from Derek. Okay, so fewer choices means it's easier for companies to jack up their prices. And the idea of consolidating, while it does bring in the convenience, essentially what you're asking these streaming companies to do when you're talking about consolidating, you're asking these studios or the Silicon Valley tech companies, your Apple and Facebook getting into the game with the streaming video, et cetera, you're asking them to collaborate more, which, if you care about cost, is probably not a great idea, because the more these things consolidate, the more somebody can come in and jack up their prices. So as Derek says, so that's why when it comes to the consolidating aspect that you're talking about here, Dennis, I say, I get why, because convenience is good, but ultimately I think the cost would outweigh the benefits. All right. So before we do too much else, I do want to remind people we're going to be going for a few more minutes, I think. But just as a reminder, go to the giveaways page, reviews.org/giveaways. It's in the thingy, the description. So go click on the link there, head over there for this week's giveaway. So this week we are giving away a Wisecam 3. Let me actually pull it up here. The Wisecam 3. Here we go. All right. So the Wisecam 3 is, I think it's an indoor. Let's pull it up here. There we go. Wisecam 3. That's what we're giving away this week. So make sure you head over, click on that link, go check it out. Oh, this one says it is indoor outdoor. So that's good. And definitely go check out Steve's review on the Wisecam 3. Just search in Wisecam 3 in our channel, and you'll find the review. If you've been thinking about an indoor or an outdoor camera, this one is, well, it's certainly an option. So please go check it out. I mean, you could buy it. It's not terribly expensive, or you can enter to hopefully get it for free. Hey, so go check out that giveaways page. As a reminder, and just in case they are watching now and weren't earlier, the winners of last week's giveaway, the Walmart streaming devices, are Don Dotson and Zachary McGuire. Don Dotson and Zachary McGuire. So you guys should be receiving some emails soon, some congratulatory emails. So yeah, thank you everybody for all that. All right. Let's get through a few more things. Okay. Into the vertical blank. Okay. This really all depends if you need cable sports channels. The rest can pretty much be replicated from other services that are not live. I mean, that kind of describes all of streaming, doesn't it? I've said for a while that once ESPN jumps ship and they fully do an ESPN streaming service with all of that content from ESPN and ESPN2 and ESPNU and ESPN News and all. Once they jump ship and do their own thing the way that all other cable channels have, it's done. It's over. Cable is over. So, which reminds me, I need to answer somebody else's question. And I want to get to a couple others. All right, let's do. Oh, Dennis came in with another one. Dennis, thank you. Wow, yeah, you're generous today. Fantastic. Consolidation needs to happen, though. Otherwise, certain forms of niche content won't be able to exist. Plus, the current model is still pretty expensive. So I'm curious what you mean by that. Otherwise, certain forms of niche content won't be able to exist. Okay. So you've got a follow-up here. Cable TV allowed for non-profitable channels to exist. Streaming is not necessarily as forgiving. Tell that to Netflix. Just throwing money at people. But no, over the long term, I think you're right. While cost is somewhat important, it is more important that the cost of value is there. Okay. All right. So I think I see what you're saying now here. Otherwise, certain forms of niche content won't be able to exist. Well, that's true. That's true. The question is that so bad? I mean, it would be for some people. It would be for the creators of that niche content, assuming they were getting paid in the first place. But the way streaming is playing out, it does allow for other types of niche content, or arguably even more of it, where, kind of over my head here, I'm watching Twitch. If you're familiar with Twitch, it's a video game platform where you can watch people stream their video games. So I've kind of loosely been watching a StarCraft tournament today. And that is niche content that you can watch it for free. If you want some commercials in there, you can pay the channel $5 a month or, whatever, to subscribe to their channel. And this wouldn't have been a thing necessarily, at least not in the same way in the age of cable. I don't know. I guess, sorry, my point is just that, my point is that we don't know exactly how this is going to shake out. We're still in a moment of huge flux when it comes to the way that we receive our content. And so when it comes to these things won't be able to exist, well, no, we won't be able to have things the way we did before, but we will have something. Niche content will exist. As long as, as long as this decadent society still, is as decadent as it is, we'll have niche content. The question will be how we'll get it, how easy it is to find, that sort of thing. So no, it won't look the same as it did 20, 30 years ago when everybody had cable. But But I don't know, Dennis. I appreciate the donation and the excellent questions, really excellent questions. But I think I'm not quite with you on this one. I think I got to say, yes, they will be able to exist. It'll just be in a different form or a different location. So, but that, yeah, like I said, very good question. Let's see. Lance asks, what days do you do live? I am live here every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. There are 2 Fridays in August when I will probably be out. I'm taking my wife on a trip, and I could probably stream from the road, but we'll see. I think it would probably be smarter of me just to take the vacation, right? So, but yeah, every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, I am right here. Let's see. Dennis says, plus the current model still allows companies to charge a premium thanks to exclusivity deals where certain shows can only be watched on the X platform. Yeah. I'm not sure I see the problem here, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So a studio produces a show, sells the show, people watch the show. That part of it doesn't feel much different to me than it was in the age of cable. I could be wrong, but let's see. Oh, okay. ESPN does have their own service. I have the Disney Plus. Yeah. Okay. So ESPN Plus is a thing. So for anybody who just joined, I was talking about how when ESPN has their own streaming service, it'll end cable forever. Yes, ESPN Plus is a thing, and there is an ESPN app, a streaming app. But with the ESPN app, you've got to sign in with your provider, usually a cable or satellite provider. And if you do that, then you can watch ESPN content through their app, most of the content. ESPN Plus has different content, so it is totally separate from their TV stations. So you get a lot of MLS, a lot of NHL, and some other more niche sports. And then you've got, when it comes to the big sports, baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, football, then they've got a lot of supplementary content, but you're not going to see a ton of actual games on ESPN Plus. So that one doesn't quite count. And the ESPN app requires a login from your TV provider. So what I mean is, when ESPN Plus, like if ESPN Plus were like Disney Plus, where Disney Plus comes out and they just, for the most part, with some exceptions, they throw open the vault and say, watch all the Disney content you want. If ESPN Plus said, hey, and now we've got Sports Center and Monday Night Football and so on and so forth, if ESPN Plus did that, then now we're talking, right? But no, they don't do that. So it is still a matter of, if you want ESPN Plus, you need a live TV streaming service, whether it's a traditional one or streaming service. My brain is torched. Sling TV, YouTube TV, Hulu Live, whatever. So yeah, you're going to have to get one of those if you want ESPN. All right. Okay, so if there's too much consolidation, there could actually be less niche content, as the mega company won't have any incentive to make it. Man, that's good. It's a good point. But I mean, we go back to the cable. Sorry, I'm thinking about this now. We go back to the cable issue when we relate this to the way things were 30 years ago, when there was an explosion of cable channels everywhere. 20 years ago, whatever. And it's kind of the same thing. I mean, there wasn't any incentive then, but people did it. Apparently there was an incentive. And you don't need to be, you don't need to be HGTV. You don't need to be the CW or whatever better example there is. You don't need to pull in millions and millions of eyeballs. If you have niche content, you probably only need, tens of thousands of eyeballs, maybe hundreds of thousands, and then you can attract those niche advertisers. And so I think the incentive was, based on what we're talking about now, the incentive wasn't there before, but of course it was, and it is now as well. So, okay, we're going to start wrapping things up here. I apologize if I've missed anybody, but But Dennis comes in again. Basically, if the argument against consolidation is cost, I'm saying that the current model allows companies not to not be price competitive. Really? In what way? So the current model, I think what you mean is the current model of our Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Hulu. These streaming services allow companies to not be price competitive. I don't see that. I don't see it, because what was when Disney Plus was announced? So we're going back to, was that 2019 when Disney Plus was announced? I think it launched in late 2019. Man, time really is a flat circle. Has it been a year and a half since Disney Plus came out? When it was announced, everybody was excited. We knew it was coming, and what are they going to include on the service? What's going to be the thing? But then the thing that blew everybody's mind was they said, we're going to do it all for $7 a month, and everybody lost their minds. Because you had Netflix, which was creeping up. I think at the time it was $13 a month for the middle tier package. Hulu, if you didn't want commercials, then you had to pay $10 or $11. We're hearing rumblings of an HBO Max coming, and we knew that was going to be expensive. HBO at the time, HBO Go or HBO Now. I think at the time it was HBO Now. It's $15 a month. So Disney comes in and like $7 a month, and everybody's like, oh my gosh. And it's an illustration of how competitive pricing really is right now. I think if you are talking about hang on, let me read this again. If the argument against consolidation is cost, I'm saying that the current model allows companies to not be price competitive. So now that's the on-demand streaming services. Let's talk about live TV streaming services. The problem with live TV streaming services isn't that they don't want to be price competitive or that they are allowed not to be. It's that they cannot be price competitive with live TV services because of that consolidation issue, where they want to consolidate all these choices. So they go to Disney and say, hey, we want ESPN on Fubo. Fubo is a great example. So Fubo didn't have ESPN for a long time, and they go to Disney and they're like, hey, we need ESPN on here. And Disney's like, great, but you're going to also have to take the Disney Channel and Freeform and whatever other, all on down the line. They go to AMC they go to Discovery and like, hey, we want the Discovery Network. And they're like, great, we've got 15 other networks for you too. And so suddenly Fubo is having to pay, instead of X number for this channel to carry that channel, they've got to pay this much because of the consolidation issue. And so because things are more consolidated, oh man, now we're in a situation where these live TV streamers are not able to be price competitive. They have to charge, $50, $60, $70 a month just to get those packages, because if they don't want to be losing money every single month, then, they've got to charge. So yeah, I don't know. What, Dennis, you should email me, or send me a DM on Twitter or something. Yeah, send me a DM on Twitter, and we should hash this out. Maybe talk about this again on another day. Let me know. All right. So yeah, I'm going to be wrapping this up for just a moment. Total rabbit hole. I don't know what the rabbit hole is, but yeah, it's whatever I was just going off about. I kind of blacked out there for a minute. All right. So good. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and call it here. You're welcome for the live streams. I'm glad that you're here. You said you tend to catch the replays. I'm glad you're here live. It's really nice to see everybody. And make sure that you are here next week. I will be here next week. And then it's the week or two after that I may be out. So yeah, make sure you're here next week. We will announce the winner for that giveaway. And as a reminder, today's giveaway is for a Wisecam 3. So go to up there, go to the weekly giveaways page, reviews.org/giveaways. The link is in the description. and go enter to win a Wise Cam 3. Okay, you're not the only one, Yvonne. Yeah, I get on a roll. You remember that scene from Animal House when the guy's talking about how the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, and somebody's going to correct him, and the other guy's like, he's on a roll. That's what happens to me sometimes. I get on a roll and I just black out. So, okay. Well, that is today what we're going to call it on. So thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate having you all here. There were some new faces. I really liked seeing you as well. So make sure you're back for future streams also. All right, we'll call it, and I will see you next Friday. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that stuff, because I'll have a video for you on Wednesday as well, along with all of the other great videos that come from Steve and Deshaka and Juan. So make sure you are watching those as well. Go support the channel, like them, comment on them, and all the things. All right, everybody, thanks much, and I